we put out a video on CallMeCarson, and everyone got in the comments with, some hot take. And
some not hot takes.
I'm just so disappointed. Do people not know the difference between morality and legality? Just because something is illegal does not make it morally wrong. But just on the point of legality versus morality, for a long time, for people who are staying there like, oh, it's illegal, so it's his problem. Do you guys not realize that's the same logic they used to imprison minorities for minor weed offenses for so long? Now that they're making it legal for tax revenue, everyone's turned a blind eye.
Now they're
but
making
you
it a
ruined
business.
Communities.
They're making it a business.
Bruv. And I'm going to show you how little sense this whole situation makes.
Go ahead.
So here's the law in place. The law in place says that any sharing of pictures of someone under the age of 18 is wrong. Now, on its face value, it sounds great. It sounds perfectly fine. But tell me how this makes sense. A 17-year-old can take out hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of student loans. A 17-year-old can drive a vehicle. A 17-year-old
Army
can join the military and go off to war. A 17-year-old can even choose to legally sleep with a 19-year-old in most states. But if that 17-year-old wants to send a picture of herself to a 19-year-old, there's something wrong. Or if she gets asked and she agrees to do it, there's something wrong. Does that make sense?
No, it's
hold up, does that make sense?
No, hold on. It's not illegal for the 17-year-old to send it, but it's illegal for the 19-year-old to receive it.
No, actually, that's not. It's illegal for both of them. Because her taking even pictures of herself in some situations can be considered that too.
Oh, well.
So tell me how this makes sense, Preach.
He's going to be the irate one.
He can be inside her. He just can't have a picture of her. He can be inside her, but he can't have a picture of her.
I don't even like cider.
Bruv, and
I'm going to calm you down with some other shit, but it's not
you want to know how
work.
stupid this law is? They charged a 17-year-old and a 60-year-old who were a couple for sending pictures of themselves to each other. A 17-year-old and a 16-year-old were charged with this law in place because they were sending pictures of themselves to each other. A 13-year-old and a 14-year-old were also charged with using the same law because they were sending pictures of themselves to each other when they were in a relationship. Now, look, I'm not advocating that people be sending off pictures of themselves. Like, that's not my point. We also just have to get out of this mindset that because something is said by the government, that somehow you should be behind it. It used to be illegal for black folks to be involved with white folks in a romantic setting. Do you think I just question whether people thought about this beyond it's illegal. Some laws are in place that are stupid. In Connecticut, you can't sell a pickle unless it bounces when you put it on. Does that make sense?
In some states, you cannot. It's forbidden to have a ice cream in your back pocket.
Yo, it's illegal to go to Arkansas and say the name wrong.
Arkansas.
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 There's Kansas. You put an R before it.
That's Arkansas. I agree.
It's only guys. Make that make sense for you. He can be inside her, but he can't take a picture of her. Due to the Romeo and Juliet laws, most people in most states, including the state that Carson lived in, he can sleep with her. But he can't have a picture of her or ask one? Does that make sense to you? Really?
You know the thing is? Do you understand why it's like that?
Because people have no time for nuance. I think the real problem is that we've given too many people a voice and abilities to speak on everything. And the truth is, everyone wants to exercise their right to speak, but very few want to exercise their responsibility to listen and to learn. People are just yapping. Cancel. You haven't even thought these issues through. You haven't looked at it at all. People don't want to read anything beyond the headline.
Laziness.
It's super lazy.
But it's super easy to be like, it's illegal. And then it forces you not to think.
Yeah, of course. But then it also removes not only the context, but the humanity of the people involved.
Yeah.
Because you're making this person you're criminalizing regular teenage behavior. And let me be clear. A 19-year-old is just as much a teen as an 18 or a 17-year-old. It's literally in the definition of the word.
But it comforts people to have that security to know what is going on.
Stupid.
People are not comfortable with gray areas. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all the gray areas, because they're gray areas, they do not want to spend time to think. Yeah. So they want to remove the gray areas. It has to be all black or all white. If you remove the gray area, then people don't need to think. That equals that. I didn't think today. I just saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna become just like right now. Whenever you say 2 + 2, you don't have to think about it. It's 4. You know what I mean? It's very... So it removes the ability of people to just think. And it's just...
It's magic.
It's just magic. It's just, that's the answer.
It's ooh woo.
And not...
It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. But that's what happens in people's brain.
Imagine you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
11 months have gone by. 30 days, 23 hours, and 59 seconds. Illegal. A second goes by. It's magic.
Yes.
But it's also a matter of like people don't want to admit their own ignorance or accept that. And the reality is we're all ignorant to so much. It's okay.
That's what happens. Okay. When you talk about when you talk about ignorance, it just makes me think of the laws that we have. And you're talking about gravity. So if you put an apple in the air and it falls down, you know it's gravity. Most people cannot explain to you what actual gravity is and what the forces of gravity is, but they know gravity. So whenever they see someone making magic, it doesn't make sense to them. They're like, oh shit, and they can't comprehend it because they understand they can't explain it. But to a person that knows, yeah, there's a trick there. You could do this and fake it. You know what I mean? So that's a bit what happens with the laws. The laws, you put them there so people can be like, it's illegal, it's gravity, and not think about that. They don't have to think about it. You understand? But whenever there's a situation that's very gray, they're like, yeah, but it's supposed to be illegal. It's impossible. It doesn't, cannot compute, and it can't function. It's really that. It's
just, you know what the problem is, though? Is that when you walk through life and you want to comment on things with such certainty, as if they weren't magic, that's the problem. When you don't acknowledge the fact that you believe in magic, right? And you're like, well, Sandra, why did you give him $1 million of your life savings? Well,
magic.
Because he does magic. No, he runs a scam and you're an idiot.
But you're not able to see that because you're like, oh.
He did the sparkles and he did a couple card tricks.
And then
you're
that's
like,
it.
I got to invest. So it's just... It's faulty thinking. It's faulty thinking, and the problem is there's real life consequences for people involved. When people are like, well, then look at the text messages. First off, I got a huge problem with reading people's private messages. Like, there's something very like perverse about everyone's like, ooh, let's get some tea out and let's go read these DMs that someone leave. First off,
we have the whole transcript.
Bruh, it's creepy.
Calm down.
But also recognize, you know, like, okay, you look at the DMs, right? You're like, that's manipulative. The reason why you think it's manipulative, the real reason, is because you walked in with a narrative, and when you're reading these text messages, which are often out of context and don't include the full length of conversations between two people, you've already primed yourself to believe it is what it is. In that same token, when I'm at a park and a little kid runs up to my leg and I try to walk away, you think something shifty happened when I recognize that people are already primed to view certain people a certain way. You see a black dude in a neighborhood late at night as you're walking towards you, most of us are already primed to see that person a certain way. So you have to recognize the bias that you're going in when you're reading those messages. I had a girl one time, I remember being 20, and this girl was talking to me, and we were talking about meeting up, blah, 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 and then a week out, she started to feel guilty. And she's like, I don't think I could do this. I'm hyper religious. You know, you don't believe in the same faith, blah, blah, blah. She's going on all this emotional stuff, and it's okay. And I'm like, you know what? We don't have to meet up. Was she trying to emotionally manipulate me? Or did she just have real insecurities that she was sharing? How do I know? And how do you know who don't even know her? But you'll read a couple text messages. This is what it is.
No. There's two type of people in the world, Abba.
It's just boring.
People are going to come in with this retort. Yeah,
you don't know. You don't know what he was trying to do. I read it. You know what it looked like? It looked like an awkward, dorky-ass 19-year-old who's probably been unpopular most of his life. And now he's got a whole bunch of adulation, women who are interested, and he's conflicted. That's another... I'm not saying it is that. I'm saying there's a possibility. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't put a referendum on his character after reading a few messages because I don't know him. Neither do you. So for you to play armchair psychology to be like, this is textbook narcissism. You don't know what textbook narcissism looked like. You aren't educated enough to know. So why would you, like, even us, bro, this is one thing I've actually not felt good about, and it's like bothered me for some time. Remember when we did that Amanda Seals video? And we were like, she's acting like a narcissist or whatever, right? The only reason I was even saying that was because she felt so comfortable calling other people that I use that logic. But even to this day, it doesn't make me feel comfortable because I don't have the aptitudes for it. I can't fathom for the life of me how people try to come up to these like certified 110% conclusions based off of limited information. You dig what I'm saying?
Because people like to know that they know.
Bruh.
It's like if you ask people, what do you want your superpowers to be? Yeah. And reading the minds come in like in the tops. You know, people want to read minds. People want to know what you're thinking. People want to think they know what you're thinking. They know this, they know that. Ooh, predicted it. Oh, you're a Virgo. That's because you are a air sign, so it means this and that and that. Oh, you're this, so you are a dog in the lunar. They want to know what people. They want to think they know how people are going to act, how people are going to be able to behave.
You know what? And I'm not even mad at that. If you want to pontificate, go ahead, but acknowledge that it's pontification. That's all. Don't be out there speaking with such certitude of who people are when you don't know. That's the only thing that bothers me about this whole situation. We had that case here in Montreal where people got super mad at me, right? Because a guy was dating a girl and he was overweight, all right? And they hadn't slept together even though they were dating for months. And then one night he asked, he was like, yo, is it because I'm like unattractive and ugly and fat? Like, because he has his insecurities. And she's like, no, it's not. I really want to do it. And they slept together. And later on, she claimed that he manipulated her. That's the story she told. That's the details. That's the gist of the details that she gave. Did he manipulate you, or did he not just share his insecurities with you? You know, we love to tell dudes, share your emotions, this and that. But when they do, they're trying to initially manipulate you to get...
Bro, I'm still on no on that one.
You know? And then,
I am still on no. People want me to share, man.
Bro, people want you to share so they can use it against you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. A lot of times.
I know.
A lot of times.
Why don't? And even some people like even to my friends, I don't share my shit. No, because there's a cost to this.
Yep.
There's something that can potentially happen. And I'm just gonna be mad I'm just gonna be super mad. Not even at you, at myself, if you actually use it against me in a context that has nothing to do with what I said or what I did. So yeah, no, I shut the fuck up. I just keep to myself.
It's just,
and that's that.
Yeah, it's just disappointing. It almost feels like everyone is so ready to throw rocks from glass houses. Like they didn't send cringy messages at 18 or 19, or if I didn't go through their DMs, I wouldn't find like conversations that could be interpreted. It's just like everyone needs to chill, man. Everyone needs to just take a step back and acknowledge the fact that he's a 19-year-old who gained fame over the last little while, and there's nobody to help guide him.
Oh, people like to judge.
He should know better. What 19-year-old knows better? What 18-year-old with all that adulation knows better? Look at every child star, every child famous person. They all come out a little crooked in some type of way.
Lindsay Lohan.
There's nobody there to guide you. There's nobody there to mentor you in most of those situations because there's not too many people who've gone through it. And rather than being like, yo, let's help educate people, the first thing we go to is like, you're trash, you're garbage, you're... Why?
And people think that in the same situation they would do better. Oh well, if I put myself in their shoes, most of the time when people say, "Oh well, I put myself in their..." No, you didn't put yourself in their shoes. You put if I was at his place or at her place, you didn't put yourself in her or his place. You put yourself at your place, looking at her place. You were right there. You're like, yeah. If I was there, I'd do much better. But you don't have the whole context. That's a lot of people. That's even me in the past. That's a lot of people.
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below.
Mira como goza, morena.
Today's topic. What did you want to talk about?
What did I want to talk? What did you want to talk about?
Not about what you want to talk about.
I didn't want to talk about shit, nigga. What you want to talk about?
Okay, all right. Then I'm going to move to my topic.
Motherfuckers like, yeah. Today's topic. What you want to talk about?
I felt like you want to talk about something.
No.
Because before we were talking about something, and you felt like you wanted to talk about it.
Nah, I'm always pissed off about some shit, but I mean, it's just, you know, it just is what it is. Yeah.
All right. Last night I got triggered, super triggered. Okay. And I couldn't. I just started writing, and when I write, it's normally not the greatest thing. I was gonna come at this like super irate, but I'm like, let me just breathe and chill.
No, that's my job. Because if you come with the super irate, you're fucking up the whole thing.
Yeah, but I got feelings I want to let out.
No. That's my job.
Hey, don't be toxic. Let me express myself.
I'm not saying no, but usually that's not how you.
My feelings. Can I express myself in a spectrum of ways?
Yes, in the way that you're used to express yourself.
Are you pigeonholing me?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
It sounds like you're pigeonholing me.
No, just do your thing. But you can't fuck this whole energy here that I gotta be calm, and I don't want to be calm. I don't want to be. You want to switch it up?
I mean, not really. No.